You're prompting cursor over 100 times a day, but typing detailed context takes forever. So you send lazy prompts and you get mediocre results.
Work works. Let me give you another example. I just made a video about it. If you went to the gym and someone told you you're gonna be in perfect shape in 9.5 months, that's when you're finally gonna have your six-pack, you're gonna be in perfect shape, and the sun is gonna hit you, and you're gonna look amazing, and all the women are gonna want you in 9.5 months at 10:34 on a Tuesday morning if you stick to this workout routine. Then you'd go to the gym every day, and you'd be happy in 9.5 months on that Tuesday morning. But that's not how it works, is it? You go to the gym, and you work your ass off, and you don't see any change at all for a long time. You have to believe in the training, believe in the work you are doing, believe in the end it's all gonna pay off. That's how the gym works. That's how money works. That's how everything works. Most of you are capable of doing it for the gym. You know that if you go long enough and train hard enough, you will get the result in the end, but you're not capable of doing it for the money. You're not capable of saying, if I sit here, if I continue to do this, if I stay on the right path, in the end, I'll be rich. You sit and wonder, well, I've done a day's work now and I wasn't paid today. I did a whole day's work and I didn't get money today, so I'm gonna quit. Imagine you applied that to the gym. I went to the gym and I lifted weights and I'm still fat, so I'm gonna quit. It's exactly the same with money as it is in the gym. Work works, you have to believe in the work, you have to sit down, knuckle down, focus on the work, do the work, and it will do the work for the universe to pay you. All of your remunerations, everything you deserve, the universe is the most fair force on the planet. Absolutely everything you deserve in this world is given to you. I deserve all my millions and all my global fame. You deserve exactly what you've got. And if you want more, you have to work, you have to earn it, and it will be given to you. Believe in the work and stop being concerned about when it's gonna come. Instead, be concerned about what work you can do today.
You have to decide your top 3 or 4 wants. And it's hard because there's gonna be things you cut out. You might have to cut out that girl who wants all your time. Who's saying you're boring, all you do is work, let's go do this, let's go do that. Do you want her pussy or do you want monumental success? It's not easy, but you can only want 3 or 4 things at once. Any more than that is just garbage. You're just confusing yourself and you're confusing the world. When you want to write down your wants, you're allowed 4, max. You start writing down 10 wants, you're never gonna get anything. I promise you guys, I wanted money. I wanted to get rich. I wanted money so bad I couldn't live broke. I knew I deserved a life better than fucking wage slavery. I knew I couldn't listen to a HR department. I knew I couldn't listen to some retard telling me what to do. I knew I couldn't be told what to do by people lesser than me. I knew I couldn't watch people less smart than me have more money than I had. I knew I couldn't watch people have Ferraris if I didn't have one. I needed money. I wanted money. I was ready to do anything for money because that's what I wanted. And guess what I got? Hundreds of millions of liquid dollars cash because I wanted it. You're always going to do what you want. Have you noticed that you're actually quite a motivated person? You jerk off every time you want to because that's what you want to do. So you need to make yourself want other things and motivation goes away. Put the list together, choose your top 4 wants, make sure that you blink, cure your brain, reprogram yourself. Those are your wants, you don't care about anything else. And you'll find yourself unduly dedicated. You'll find yourself unquestionably motivated to get the things that you truly desire.
The number one thing holding you back is that you've come so ridiculously spoiled. You believe if you do some work, you deserve to be paid. And you want to know exactly how much you're going to be paid, when the money is going to come, before you do the work. That is your problem. Most people who have ever achieved anything in the world have put in thousands of hours of work into something without any guarantee they're going to get paid. They took a leap of faith. They believed in themselves, and more importantly, they believed in the work. Stop worrying about when all of this is going to pay off. Find work worth doing and focus on the work because work works.
Anyone who's making money Because the biggest problem in the world today is not finding money to make, because there's money everywhere. It's easy to start a business. It's easy to get paid. The only problem that we're encountering is that everybody's a lazy idiot. Do you know that if I hired someone to send me a text message at 10 a.m. every day on the dot for 10 grand a month, most people would fail. It would come at 10:01 or 9:59. They'd make some excuse and say it was hard, or their fucking family got sick, or they were tired. It is extremely difficult to find anybody who is not incompetent on this planet. This is a planet plagued by eternal incompetence. I promise you, if you could turn your brain 100% on and remove all distractions and focus on something that matters for 20 minutes a day, for 20 minutes a day, you can ignore everything else and you can give 100% of your consciousness towards a task, you will be massively successful. 20 minutes a day of focused exercise, 20 minutes a day of focused lessons on how to make money, 20 minutes a day of learning, 20 small minutes of focus and you will win. Those 20 100% minutes are worth more than 1,000 years of 80% half on, because everybody's half on. And you don't get a competitive advantage when you're going through life half paying attention to opportunities, half paying attention to things you hear. So is everyone else. You have heard about Bitcoin and you didn't take any action. If you would have dedicated 100%, 20 minutes conscious investigation into Bitcoin when you first heard about it, you would now be a billionaire. It is extremely important that you learn this skill. It is that consciousness that gives you the competitive advantage above everyone else, because everybody around you is asleep. They're asleep to opportunities. They hear about things, they do nothing. They're asleep to how they're being lied to. They're asleep to how they feel. They're asleep to why they do what they do. Why are they with the person they're even with? Is it because it's the only person who tolerates them? Nobody is awake. If you wake up, if you stick your head above the crowd, if you look down on everybody, it's extremely easy to plot a path to victory. So, you need 20 minutes a day of consciousness, and that consciousness must be focused on physical health or financial literacy. We teach both of those inside of the real world, and if you can do that, you're allowed to be asleep for the rest of the time, because most people are asleep all of the time.
Your competition is zero. They're just out drinking, watching sports, distracting themselves on TikTok. They're losers. All you have to do is focus on yourself. Focus on yourself, you're gonna win.
In fact, yesterday, Tristan said this yesterday. The best day of most people's life isn't even my average Tuesday. Yesterday, I wake up with a woman on either side. I wake up, I go downstairs, my servants bring me breakfast, I train outside in the garden. I send the two women away so that one of my mothers with the child can come up. We play in the pool for half an hour. I then go to a meeting, and I walk away with about $11 million. Then we went to Gal, which is a restaurant. I was sitting there, and I ordered a $900 tomahawk steak. Tristan said to me, Andrew, you just pulled up in a Bugatti Chiron to one of the most famous restaurants in the world and ordered a $900 steak. I said, yeah. He goes, yeah. And to us, it's just lunch. It's not a birthday. It's not an anniversary. That's my day. At no point during that day am I like, yes, Bugatti. Yes, women. Yes, money.
You as a man should be offended by the fact that my brother and I started miles below you and have surpassed you in every single human metric. That should bother you. But you should also sit there and go, why are they beating me? They started below me. They started the race way back there. And I was so lazy and so stupid, and I took life for granted, and I expected everything to be given to me, that these guys have managed to lap me and surpass me based purely on hunger and grit alone. They had no advantages. All they had was this innate desire to do anything it took. Now is the time. Every single day you need to wake up, take action, and get things done. It is extremely important that you are never in a position where you lack motivation ever again. It is extremely important that you never fuck up an opportunity that is handed to you ever again. And these things are conscious choices you make by changing your lifestyle. The smartest thing rich people ever did was come along and say to all the poor people, money doesn't make you happy. Don't worry, I'll keep all the money because it doesn't make you happy. You ever seen a rich man give his money away? No, they say money doesn't make you happy. You keep slaving away for minimum wage. I'll stay over here a millionaire, but I'm not happy, so don't worry. Don't be jealous. Bollocks.
Everybody is the exact same amount of stressed and anxious. Nobody is happier than you. Nobody is less depressed than you are. Nobody is going through life with less worries than you have. Everyone is exactly the same. We
Feel the same. So for that reason, why not have a huge empire, right? You think that if you don't try very hard, you won't have worries and stress. If you don't put yourself out there, you don't take risks, you don't have to worry about it all going wrong. But now you're just stressed and worried about the bills. And now you have FOMO because you can't afford to go to Saint-Tropez and Dubai when everyone else can. And now you're mad that your car broke down and everyone else drives Lamborghinis. Don't you understand that you can either be stressed and miserable and unhappy and worried about the fact that your massive, monumental empire might be collapsing around you because federal agencies are after you, and that somehow, even though you've only made $100 million this year, you have to pay a $35 million tax bill, and you can have a driveway full of supercars, and you can be one of the most famous men in the world, and you can have all the stress and anxiety and pressure that comes with that, or you can have all the stress, anxiety, and pressure that comes with sitting in the commute on your way to your bullshit job in Starbucks, depressed because your car's crap and you can't get a girlfriend. You are going to be miserable, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be anxious all of the time, no matter what you do. So why not use your time to build a massive empire, and at least then it's worth being stressed and anxious and depressed. Whether you do it or you don't do it, you're going to regret it. Happiness doesn't exist. Forget the fucking happiness. You're never going to feel that way. You're always going to feel the way you feel right now. So the way you feel right now is worth it if you have a massive empire, and it's not worth it if you don't. There is no such thing as building this fantastic dream life where you don't feel that way. A lot of the reasons why you're not taking risks and you're not doing things is you're worried. You're concerned about how, if it goes wrong, or the problems that come with it, or can I afford it? You're going to feel like shit no matter what you do. So just go in. It doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? I'm happy to be stressed and depressed. I'm happy to be anxious and worried and nervous. I'm happy to have all those things because I have a fantastically large empire. It's worth it. I would not be happy to feel that way if I had your life, because I don't even know who the fuck you are, and you're watching my video. You lost everything. Are you going to freeze to death? Like the 1800s where you lose your house because you've been evicted by Indians or whatever as you were trying to cross the frontier and they ran up on your wagon and scalped your wife. Like, that's not going to happen. No one's going to scalp your wife. No one's going to murder your kids. You're not going to freeze to death. You're not going to get typhus. You're sitting there worried about trying hard. Oh, what happens if I fail? Basically nothing. It's free spins. You're just going to win. In the end, if you keep spinning, you're going to win. And if you lose, what happens? Oh, you have a little bit less money. Oh, you can't buy champagne in an overpriced beach club for a few months. Who gives a shit? You're always going to have food. You're always going to have somewhere to sleep. It's always going to be warm enough. How bad can it really go? We talk about the world being a bad place, but it's actually better than ever. Truthfully, despite the fact they print endless money and they rob us all and the politics aren't real and there are no elections, truthfully, the world's probably more peaceful than it's ever been. Europe's not at war. The Teutonic Knights are not going to come and chop your balls off. You're scared of trying in case you fail. What's the price of failure, really? The true price of failure is sitting there living, not knowing if you could have made it or not. Because most of you, even though you have a shitty, brokey job, your life's fine. You go to work, you waste your time, you waste your life, but your bills are paid, you get to eat every day, your dick gets wet now and again, your life's fine. What's the punishment for not trying? The punishment is wondering, could your life have been better? If you have no shame, if you're not the kind of person with honor and dignity, then you don't feel a punishment. You just get to work your bullshit job and have your bullshit life. But if you have any kind of shame, you sit and wonder, could I be doing more? The punishment's self-inflicted.
There is no price for failure anymore. You can do whatever you want. You can try a new business today. You can try and make money right now. It could all go wrong. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Are you? You're going to end up getting hung, drawn, and quartered. And nothing's going to happen. So stop being a bitch and try anyway. It's better to try and fail and know you couldn't do it than sit and wonder what your life could be if you stop being a lazy piece of shit. You know what's amazing to me? People who refuse to succeed in life don't seem to understand that being successful is actually the laziest thing you can do. Think about it. Which is harder? Which is harder to do? Being overweight and being self-conscious of the fact you're overweight and not having a girlfriend because you're overweight and everyone mocking you for being overweight, or just going to the gym. Which one's harder? It's harder to be fat and lack self-respect and lack the respect of others and be lonely forever than it is to go to the gym. Going to the gym's the lazy option. It's the easy option. Go gym, be in shape. You got to deal with any of that crap. Same with working hard and making money. What's easier, being in a constant state of FOMO and guilt and poverty, or dedicating yourself for a few hours a day so you can pay your bills? You're actually taking the harder option. The lazy option, the truly lazy option, is to be successful. The real dedication and hard work doesn't come from success. It comes from failure. Because every single waking second and all of the minutes you're asleep, you have to deal with the consequences of your monumental underperformance. Why do you go to the gym, Andrew? Is it because you're dedicated? No, it's because I'm lazy. I go to the gym because I'm lazy and I don't want to be dedicated to being a fat fuck. And I make money because I'm lazy and I don't want to be dedicated to poverty. Do you understand the inverse here? Do you understand the laziest thing you can do is have the best life ever? If you truly love chilling so much, if you truly lack motivation, if you're truly not a try-hard, then just get stuff done. Then you can stop thinking about it, stop worried about it. That's the best thing you can do. If you're really dedicated, stay ugly, stay fat, and stay broke. Go for it. Now you get to dedicate your life to eternal suffering. Enjoy.
Genuinely imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine the love you would see in her eyes when she looks at you with adoration like a king. Imagine your existence. That person is waiting for you. And the only thing that's stopping you from being that person is your monumental laziness. You can have it. The universe is very giving. It will give you anything you work for. I've never seen somebody try for something with all of their might and not get it. The only people who do not have the things they want are the people who do not try for them. I've never seen a person wake up and say, my only dedication in life is to solve a Rubik's Cube and fail. You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. It's extremely important you understand that that person is waiting for you and you are declining that version of yourself. In the multiverse, in the many different versions of the universe that exist, there is a version of you that does those exact things. And he is a greater person than you can even fathom. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. That's exactly what I did. I knew who I was going to have to end up being before I became that person. My brother and I are not from rich families. We are not from advantaged beginnings. But I knew I had to be a big, strong, fighting billionaire. That's what I knew I had to be. Discipline is the key to success. If you cannot force yourself to do something you don't want to do, how are you ever going to put yourself through the suffering required for greatness? If you cannot force yourself to train when you do not want to train, if you cannot force yourself to work when you don't want to work, or force yourself to eat right, how can you possibly ever become a monumentally successful person if you cannot control yourself long enough to do what must be done as opposed to what you feel like doing? A man must do what he is supposed to do irregardless of how he feels. That is the key component to masculinity, is discipline. If you do not have the discipline to dedicate yourself to anything, you are going to fail and be crushed by the people who can. If you only go to the gym when you feel like going to the gym, you're never going to be as strong as the people who go to the gym when they don't feel like going to the gym. That is a reality of life. So, I train every single day. I've actually heard from some people saying, you overtrain. And I explained to them, one, I don't believe in rest. I'm not you. I'm not broke like you are, Mr. Fitness Trainer, standing around the gym teaching people for $50 an hour. I don't need to listen to you. Secondly, I don't train because I want to get bigger. I train every day because it is difficult to train every day. It hurts. I don't want to. I wake up and I'm busy. I have other things to do. I don't feel like doing it. So I force myself to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so that I know I'm the kind of person who can do do what he doesn't want to do when it needs to be done. I am that man. And it's more of a mental exercise than a physical exercise at this point. How can you ever outcompete me if I can force myself to do the things I don't want to do and you cannot? Discipline is absolutely essential for success, and you need to get very comfortable and very used to the idea of understanding that on your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. That is why it is difficult. That is why most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path, 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it and you wouldn't want it because no one would respect it. It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile through the pain regardless. Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. You can give most people a roadmap to success. You can give them a Ferrari with a full tank of gas, and a lot of people still wouldn't make the destination because they would say the drive is too far away. Quitters, they don't have the discipline. You can tell them exactly how to do it. You can give them the mechanism to get there, but they don't have the discipline to complete the drive and end up at the destination. That is the majority of Earth. This is your competition. People who, even if they are told what to do and people tell them exactly how to do it and help them do it, still quit, still fail because they lack discipline. Even me, with my monumental powers, I can't make a quitter successful. It doesn't matter how good I am. It doesn't matter how easily I make it for them to succeed. It doesn't matter how compendious and concise and powerful the real world is. It doesn't matter how much I text them and motivate them, how many emergency meetings I do to try and talk to them and hype them up, how much motivation I give them. It doesn't matter what I do. If they are a quitter, guess what they're going to do? They're going to quit. No matter how simple the map is to read, no matter how fast a Ferrari is, somewhere along the drive, the sun's going to get in their eyes, and they're going to sit there and go, I don't like this, this is hard, and they're going to quit. Quitters are the number one type of people that nobody can help. If you're a quitter, I can't help you, life can't help you, God himself cannot help a quitter. So if you lack discipline, you lack the very basic building block to any type of success which exists on the planet. By every single metric which can be measured with science, you are going to stay a loser and a failure. So you need to pick the low-hanging fruit first. And the starting block to all of these things is your body. I believe you lift, stretch, move, improve your body, try and train MMA, learn how to fight, get stronger, get bigger muscles. It's a fast track to self-discipline, which will carry over into all other endeavors. And I would argue that it's nearly impossible. In fact, how many people can say the gym saved their life? How many people do you know were depressed, started training, got in fantastic shape, and weren't depressed anymore? It is very easy. The low-hanging fruit is your body and upgrading your body. That is the easiest struggle, which is never going to backfire on you and never going to be a negative towards any other facet of your life. And when I look at men who are physical specimens, I think everyone naturally does this, but I'm going to openly say it. I respect them differently than I look at men who aren't. I have a different level of respect for them because they show me they have discipline. They show me they have motivation. They show me they're capable of doing difficult and hard things. Those are the kind of people I trust. They're not afraid of struggle. They're problem solvers. People who train are problem solvers, and you need to become one, and you need to become very, very adept at solving problems pretty quickly. I actually find it amazing that there's people out there who aren't in perfect physical condition. Guys, let me tell you all a news flash. If you eat right and you train hard, you look good.
Yeah.
It's like a biological certainty. It's almost impossible to be fat and look bad if you eat right and train hard. Your body will react and give you exactly what you want. So why don't you all look like superheroes? Do you not understand how intimidating that is just when they look at a group of people and they all look like superheroes and they can tell they're all disciplined, all hardworking, all dedicated, all physically strong? The struggle is what's beautiful about it. That's the most important thing. That's what you have to understand. The key is to keep training. If you train hard every single day, you don't have to worry about a little bit of vitamin C.
It's true.
If you don't train and you don't smoke, you're still going to be a pussy.
Yes.
The answer is always hard work. As soon as you are granted life, you are guaranteed death. What you do in between is up to you. You are all conscious. That could end tomorrow, that could end in 100 years. but the time between the beginning of your consciousness and the end of it is completely up to you. Training is never the wrong decision. If you are free, you should train. If you are rich, you should train. If you are poor, you should train. If you smoke, you should train. If you don't smoke, you should train. If you drink, you should train. If you don't drink, you should train. You cannot all things.
I always knew the answer to everything is raw action. The answer to everything has always been raw action. My dad had a tweet about this. He said that raw action solves all. So when I was broke, I was never like, I'm poor, what do I do? It was, I'm poor, I have to do something. If I was broke, I'd go for a run. That's why I was such a great fighter. If I was broke, I'd sit there and go, I'm actually poor. How do I make money? Don't know. Where can I get some cash? Don't know. What work can I do? Don't know. I'll just go for a run then. And I just go for 3-mile run. You just have to say, well, I have to do something. I can't just sit still and die. A lot of people are happy to just sit still and die or can go to sleep and take a nap. Well, if that's what you want to do, then you can stay a loser. That's fine. I'm glad there are losers, because if everyone had Lamborghinis, my Lamborghini wouldn't be fun to show off. I need you to look at it and feel the deep pain in your heart of regret and failure. That's the whole point of it. I need to drive my Bugatti and everyone be looking at it going, I'll never have one of those. And I can get all their energy and feel it all, and it makes me happy. Fantastic. So you can sit at home and do nothing. But when I was poor, I had to go for a run. I couldn't sit still or lift weights or do something. I couldn't even sleep. So raw action solves everything. And I understood that at a young age. But as you get older, you get to look back and you get to put your whole story together, the whole tapestry together. I knew I wouldn't stay poor. Did I ever think I'd get this rich? Well, I never said I wouldn't, but did I ever think it would probably happen at this level? No. But it's amazing how the compounding interest of just endless raw action adds up. I've never had a lazy day. I've never skipped work, never missed an email, never had a day off, ever. You name if you were to go through the last 3 years of my life, you will see that there's never been a day where I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And it all just adds up, and then monumental success comes and you get to laugh at everybody else, ha ha ha, and life's great. I find it amazing that, like, I speak to people my age and I say, in my 20s, I spent maybe, I don't know, let's say 3 hours a day. What's a decade at 3 hours a day? Let's just say 10,000 hours. I spent 10,000 hours in the gym training. You're the same age as me. What did you do with those 10,000 hours? And they can't even tell me what they did. What did you do? Watch TV, go out, go pub, sit around, sleep, nap, chase women? What did you actually do? We had the same amount of waking hours and the same amount of minutes. I know where 10,000 hours of my minutes went, and that's why I'm the champ. That's why I have 4 title belts above my bed. That's how I spent my 10,000 hours. Tell me what you did with your 10,000 hours, which is equal to, comparable to, or superior than how I spent my time. And they can't even name what they did with any of their time. They're like, don't know. So if you're 16, you need to be using every single waking minute towards things you're going to remember. You're going to remember training. You're going to remember working hard. You're going to remember trying to make money. You're spending your life and wasting your time doing things you're not even going to be able to recollect in a few years. You're going to wonder why you fall behind the people who don't waste time. Time is the ultimate currency. Time is money. Time is also strength and power and networks, connection. Time is everything. You can convert it. It's like malleable. Time is like Play-Doh. Yeah. You can turn it into anything. You can turn it into muscles if you go to the gym. Turn it into fighting prowess if you go to the fight gym. But people have all this time and they just mush around with it. And then they're like, don't know why, I'm failing. I wish I was successful.
You shouldn't wake up and say, how happy am I today? How does that affect how I act? That's not how I operate. I wake up and say, what must be done? What will allow me to be proud of myself? What will allow me to achieve? And those things will be done regardless of how I feel. And that's how the most successful people on earth all operate. The most successful people on earth don't only do things because they feel happy about doing them. Manhood is exceptionally hard, and life is hard. But how you shape yourself will determine how hard it is for you and how miserable it will be. As a man, there is no easy life. Your life is not about being easy. Your life is not about being happy. Your life is always going to be difficult. All of the pain you feel, all of the sadness you feel, you're supposed to feel as a man, and you have 2 effective binary choices. You either go through the suffering and go through the trauma and go through the hardship it takes to be a man of value, or you suffer eternity as a nobody. And being invisible, I would argue, is almost worse. You can have a very stress-free life if you work in Starbucks. You don't care about the Starbucks once you clock off. You go home, you play video games, and you exist until you die. That's stress-free, but you have to suffer being a nobody. Alternatively, you can go out there into the world, try and implement your mark on the world, work hard, try to get rich, more money, more problems. You can try and start a business, the stress of that. You can lose your girlfriend because all you're doing is working. This is a new level of stress, a new level of trauma, but at least you'll be a somebody at the end of it. There's two ways to suffer. You either suffer as becoming a somebody, or you suffer as a perpetual, Napoleon say.
You said glory is forever.
Absolutely. Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever. And when he says fleeting, that's a really good point, because everything in life is rented, especially your glory as a man. When you have a good body, it is not a good body as complete. It's not finished. You haven't completed the task. You have rented that good physical condition. You must train every day to retain it. Everything is rented. Your body, you don't just get a good body and you're done. You still have to go to the gym every day to maintain that good body. You don't just get a hot girl and it's done. You still have to work hard for her to always love you and respect you. You don't just start a business and now you're rich. No, you have to start a business and work on that business every day. If you take your eye off the business, it will fail. Everything in life is rented. So when he says glory is fleeting, he's also absolutely not correct, because glory is fleeting and you have to constantly and endlessly work for it and make sure that you never stop. Otherwise, it will be taken from you. But obscurity is forever. If you never make a mark on the world, then you effectively never existed. And when you're gone, nobody will care. The reason our Father is discussed at length is because of who me and Tristan are, and the reason we will be discussed forever is because who our sons will become. And that's very important, because you have a duty to your ancestors and you have a duty to God. So you must make a choice. And this is genuine choice for you people at home. Do you want to live in obscurity forever and be invisible and not matter and have an easier life? I would argue that it's not easier, because in your heart and in your soul, you're going to feel guilty knowing you could have been something you're not. Or do you want to try your absolute best and struggle and suffer every day of your life, paying the rent for all of the amazing things around you? We pay endless rent. We pay rent for our bodies. We pay rent for our relationships. We pay rent to keep our kids. We pay rent to keep our business. We pay rent to keep our freedom. Every single day is work to pay the rent. It's absolutely never ending, and you have to make that choice. So if you have a pen and paper in front of you, you need to decide, do you want to be invisible with a lower rent bill, or do you want to be important and work hard and suffer to make sure that the rent is paid? It's a choice you must make, and it's binary, and you must be extremely dedicated towards the decision you finally make. Absolutely everything as a man is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to become your best and brightest version of yourself, and you're not going to do that simply by talking it into existence. You need to live it into existence. You need to go out there and do things which are genuinely difficult, genuinely stressful, which are genuinely scary, so you can become the man you want to be. So you have to take responsibility for these things, and you have to seek them and choose and find the correct difficulties for you to overcome, so you can build a character worth having. I believe that it's pain that teaches. I don't believe men especially can learn any way besides pain. We talk about learning a lesson the easy way or the hard way, and I'll tell you something. We've all been offered chances to learn a lesson the easy way our entire lives. And guess what? We didn't learn anything, and we kept doing it. It's natural, intrinsic inside of men. You'll see a man drive a car too fast and almost crash 100 times, and he won't learn his lesson until he's crashed that car. We only learn things the hard way. It's only pain that can teach a man. Every single time something bad happens to me, that's how I see it. I see it as God teaching me to make me more wise, more formidable, a more capable opponent, and that's how you have to approach life. Every single hero in every single movie goes through adversity. There's never been a hero movie where all he does is win. No, to be a hero, you have to suffer. If you're suffering in some degree, even if you're a normal guy with a normal job and you're suffering at your job, or you're heartbroken because your girl left you, or whatever, if you're suffering, that's part of your hero's journey. There is no hero's journey without suffering. If you have an easy life the whole way through, you never get to be a hero. That's the whole point of being a man, is that you're supposed to suffer. You're supposed to eat pain for breakfast. You're supposed to come and grow into a better version of yourself. That's exactly what life's supposed to be about as a man. If you want to be a superhero in life, you need to understand that for 80% of the movie, you're going to suffer. For 80% of the movie, you're going to lose. Watch any superhero movie. For 80% of the movie, it is nothing but pain and frustration and difficulty. And when your life is that way, you have a chance to grow into something fantastic, and you should thank God for every difficult thing he puts in your path. Think about a superhero movie. A man is unfairly imprisoned in a Romanian jail cell and trained so hard he emerges stronger than ever before. That is a movie. You get to live a movie as a man if all you had was some balls. We are living movie scripts. Why? Because we have bravery.
Most men sit there and wonder why they're depressed because you don't get to live a movie. You're not the main character of anything. You're not even a secondary character in anyone else's movie. You're an unimportant nobody because you were afraid your entire life. You've lived like a coward your whole life. You were afraid of what might happen if you have some balls. And then you wonder why you're depressed. I'd be depressed if I was you. Of course, your life sucks. I'd rather go to jail as me than live free as you. Because when you're free, you can't even do anything. You can't go where you want, you're broke. You can't have sex, girls don't want you. You can't speak because no one listens. So what are you free to do? You're more in jail than I ever was.
The system does not make rules for the good of you. It makes rules for the good of the people who make the rules. And a lot of the life paths laid out to the average man at home today is not for their own good. It's only going to lead them to depression and misery.
Do you think you're a force for good?
I absolutely not really know I'm a force for good because I'm a force for truth. And truth is a good thing. Without truth, we're going to end up in absolute tyranny and slavery, and we're already on our way there. I think there's a whole swath of the population, especially young men, that feel disenfranchised. I haven't put a magic spell on the world. The fact that people like what I say means that they agree with me deep inside. They may be afraid to say it themselves, but I am seen as a bastion of free speech and a bastion for masculinity as a whole, because a lot of men are largely forgotten about.
I mean the best for people. I want everyone to be successful. I want the world to be a better place. And I think the world's a better place based on the back of strong men who stand up for what they believe in. I think that's how the world's always been a better place. The Matrix programming says the opposite. They're telling us that to be a better place, all the men need to be weaklings and compassionate without any morals or without any hard lines or beliefs. And they must talk in a very, very soft way. And we need to be very, very compassionate and very, very tolerant and all these things. But if you look at history, the only times things were peaceful and nice is when strong men stood up with their swords and said, no, this is mine and this works this way. No one's going to come fuck with it. I think that masculinity and strength is what makes things beautiful. And it's what preserves things. And it's what we need more of. This is what's missing from the world.
Masculine men have a duty to provide and protect those they care about. We have a duty to do things we don't feel like doing because we know we're supposed to do them. And it's your duty as a man to stand up and say, I want to be as important and strong and good-hearted and God-fearing as possible. And I need to work hard to achieve those things.
If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life. Because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. Right. You can't control other people. You can't even control whether your heart stops beating. You might have a heart attack tomorrow. You can't control anything besides what you think.
There's no such thing as too much masculinity if it's genuinely masculine. Genuine masculinity is not out here to hurt people. It's absolutely the opposite. It's out here to protect. And when bad things happen, they call traditionally masculine men. If you need a firefighter, you need a masculine man. When you call the police because of the problem you have, you want masculine men. And as soon as a woman or a man is in trouble, when you look for backup, you look for masculine men. And masculine men have a duty to provide and protect those they care about. We have a duty to do things we don't feel like doing because we know we're supposed to do them. And that's why we stayed in the Titanic and died. And the dangerous thing about overly emotional men is that they're dangerous. They're genuinely dangerous. This is what's crazy. All these people who talk about toxic masculinity and how bad it is for men to be traditionally masculine. A traditionally masculine man does things he doesn't feel like doing because it is his duty to do them. He charges into the burning building because it is his duty. Not because he feels like it, because it is his duty. We're now teaching the new generation of men that they don't have duty and they can just act on their feelings and act how they feel, and they don't have to act as a man should. Do you know what happens when you get men who just act how they feel? You get school shooters, you get violence, you get rapists. Men who do not control their emotions are dangerous. If you find a man who is stoic, he's not gonna hurt people. He's gonna sit and think about his actions very carefully, and he's gonna be a good man who protects and provides for his family. You find a man who just acts out on impulse and does whatever he feels like, you're gonna find a dangerous man. Sitting here telling men to cry more and act with their feelings and it's okay to feel this way, that way, etc., and have no self-control. That is why we have the problems we have in the world. Absolutely not wrong. So when they talk about toxic masculinity, they have it completely inversed on its head, completely not wrong. We need to be teaching stoicism. We need to be teaching young men to understand that the world is very, very difficult. It's hard to be a man. You're going to feel bad sometimes. You need to suck it up and perform anyway, not to sit there and cry your eyes out or blame other people.
We live in a comfortable world now where people think, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. But you know what? To some degree, it does matter. It does matter, and I'll tell you who it matters to. It matters to your soul, and it matters to God. I stand in the mirror with a pure heart. I know I am the best version of me that could possibly ever exist. I know that God is proud of me. There's nothing that God hates more than sloth and laziness. If God were to create a man and that man were to sit around and do fuck all, God will frown upon you. It's why you're never lucky. As a man, there is no easy life. Your life is not about being easy. Your life is not about being happy. Your life is always going to be difficult. All of the pain you feel, all of the sadness you feel, you're supposed to feel as a man, and you have two effective binary choices. You either go through the suffering and go through the trauma and go through the hardship it takes to be a man of value, or you suffer eternity as a nobody. There's two ways to suffer. You either suffer becoming a somebody, or you suffer as a perpetual and forever nobody. The reason you lose is because you've been programmed to lose by all of your experiences throughout life. Winners are programmed, losers are programmed. I was programmed to be a winner in any scenario because I was raised in a very specific way. You were not. So we're going to start at the absolute beginning of why you've ended up a loser, because most of you never self-reflect. You're dummies who never look in the mirror and say, how did I end up where I am? Why am I the person I am? Why do I believe the things I believe? You don't self-analyze. So you don't understand how your own mind works, which means you don't understand why you are where you are. Because before you make a move on the chessboard, you need to analyze your position. By analyzing the board, the smartest thing you can do is to try and take your strengths and play them off against your weaknesses. So if you're poor, you have hunger and motivation, what you have to do is fix the things you don't have. You need to get around rich people. You need to get a good network of people you can trust who have a lot of money. You need to find a teacher who's prepared to teach you how money really works. That's the first thing. The second thing, and your biggest problem to fix, is your monumental laziness. And you have to understand that you innately are lazy. You innately lack hunger and fire. You're innately afraid. You're a coward. You lack the balls it takes in many scenarios to get rich or die trying. That's the truth. People in the ghetto already have the fire. Those brothers already have fire. Yeah. They're already prepared to do anything it takes. You need to ignite the fire inside of you. You need to make sure there's something inside of you that's going to get you motivated like a poor person's hunger, because you've never felt it before. Because the poor don't need motivation. The poor understand what it's like to be taken advantage of, and the poor understand what happens when you have no money and no food. You don't. You're not poor. You have food in your fridge. Most of you are not actively building a future. You're not actively trying to build the dream life that you want to have. And then you expect it to just appear. Do you know why? Because when you were born in the middle, your parents put food in the fridge. It just appeared. The heating was just on because it was cold outside. We knew. You never had that problem. That's why people at the bottom, we understand intricately. We understand this viscerally. We understand that nothing is going to come to us unless we go out there and get it ourselves. And once you have that, you have endless motivation for all things. That is extremely important. You have to train a fighter, a boxer. Do you want somebody who has poor nutrition and poor sleep, but endless fire inside of them, someone poor, to turn them into Muhammad Ali? Or do you want somebody with a good bed and good food, but lacks fire? Which one do you think is going to become a champion? Which boxers have become champion historically across time? Were they rich men? Were they from middle class incomes? Or were they from the ghetto? Were they from the bottom? It is all a test. It's all a test. You watch me because I perform flawlessly, and I'm not afraid to pay the price. You'd be up here with me if you were brave. When I say brave, and this is a genuine question, when is the last time you made a brave decision? When's the last time you took a brave route and did a brave thing? And I want you to actually take a few seconds and ask yourself that question and answer it. Bravery is a muscle like every other one, and it must be flexed and used to grow. Bravery is extremely important, and Bitcoin's a super easy answer. What's the worst that can happen? You lose your money? Do you think people like us were afraid to buy crypto once we worked it out? Once we were told about Bitcoin at $800, do you think we were afraid to buy it because we might lose money? Do you not understand? People like us don't give a fuck. That's how we end up here. Oh, you're lacking hunger. You're scared to be brave. You're lazy.
I don't want to put my $6,000 into Bitcoin. I might lose it.
I might lose it.
Because you lack bravery. So, if you've done nothing brave that you can mention instantly off the top of your head, then what you need to do is something brave quickly. I'm not quitting. That's called handing the prize to somebody else. There are a certain number of prizes in the universe. There are stars that exist. They're just out there. There's prizes. So the people at the bottom have something that you don't have. It's hunger. You need to now, and this is the actionable, guys, you need to cultivate a lifestyle
which is going to endlessly give you fire inside of your heart so that you never struggle with motivation ever again. You need to cultivate that with your social circle. So you need to be around motivated, hungry men. You need to cultivate it with the decisions you make. God loves to see that. Those people, for some reason, seem to be enormously lucky, right? The person who goes, I don't have to prove anything to God. I don't owe all of my ancestors any effort. You know, for 5,000 years, people were dodging saber-toothed tigers and catching the plague and running from Genghis Khan. I don't owe them anything. I don't owe them a thing because I want to play video games. These people are losers. I wake up every day with something to prove. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm in fantastic shape, 4 times world champion, fighting the matrix out here by myself. More. I will have to be braver. I must try harder. All I do is prove myself. So when I hear people go, I don't have nothing to prove, then you're a loser. Peasants have never felt like they needed to prove anything, but kings felt like they needed to go and conquer land. Isn't that it's coincidental that the king, who already had it all, felt like he needed to go to some far-flung land and conquer it and take it and prove he's the king. But the peasants, oh, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You're a loser then. You're a dummy. I absolutely and utterly, completely have everything to prove to everybody all of the time. That's who I am. I will prove anything to anybody. If I sit and say X, I will prove it. And I don't want a woman to ever go through anything bad in her life. I think a man should go through it for her and protect her, because I think that's how she's her best self as a woman. But I think to be your best self as a man is the absolute opposite. And when someone emails me and says, this has happened to me, I'm like, good. No, what do you mean good? It's terrible. How else are you going to become important? How else are you going to find endless fire to get up and struggle in the face of the competition that's out here in the world? How else are you're going to do all that with a nice cushy life? If any man's honest with himself, think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. You were heartbroken, or, you lost a house, or broke, or whatever. That's when you did shit. When everything was fine, the mortgage is paid, dinner's on time, it's kind of doop-de-doop-de-doo, little by little, do a little bit of work, do a little bit of relax. But the big events come from trauma. This is it. So it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code to climb the mountain. So when I get a message from whoever and he goes, my wife left me, I'm devastated. I say, I understand. I completely understand how hard it can be to lose a woman that you've given your entire life to. I think that as a man, your happiness comes from feeling respected over feeling loved. And the reason perhaps you're happy now is because you have more respect for yourself because of the decisions you're making, and you have self-respect.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of men, even if they have self-respect, if nobody else respects them, they're struggling.
I have no interest in being happy. I wake up and say, how can I be proud of myself? What can I achieve that makes me proud of myself? How can I do things that make other people respect me and are proud of me? How do I have a day which I complete when I come home, the woman who's in my house says, wow, there's no man like you? How do I live a life so my children look at me and go, Dad's a superhero? How do I make my mother call me and say, I couldn't possibly be more proud of you? I have to live the exact same life regardless of how I feel. So for me, happiness is not a good indicator on how life should be lived.
Well, you need to sit down and look at your life and say, what's going to make me as motivated as possible? Is it developing an imagination to imagine my dream life? I'm sure it is. Is it having a social circle of people who are always trying to elevate? I'm sure it is. You need to then sit there, look at every facet of your life, analyze it one by one, and develop a lifestyle which is going to give you endless fire, because without it, you are going to lose. You are broken inside. You are lacking a fire inside of you, because once you get that fire, you become invincible. The fire inside of your heart makes you hard to kill, truthfully. It is the fire inside of your heart that makes you uncrushable. The kind of cockroach which survives a nuclear explosion. It is extremely important that you are never in a position where you lack motivation ever again. It is extremely important that you never up an opportunity that is handed to you ever again. And these things are conscious choices you make by changing your lifestyle. There's nothing stopping you from winning besides yourself. I have now given you an actionable. The actionable is for you to design your life around getting endless motivation and fire in all ways. Everything you do needs to be deliberately geared and designed towards giving you motivation and making you feel hunger inside of yourself. Then you must take all of that fire, turn it into positive energy, and exude it out into the universe. If you want it to rain and you don't know what to do a rain dance. Perhaps the rain dance will not make the clouds seed. However, God will be happy that you're taking action as opposed to just sitting still quietly waiting for rain to appear while being
being submissive and subservient. No, you have to go out there and do things. God wants to see you take care of what he has given you. Nobody continues to give gifts to the ungrateful. This is absolutely true about life. It's extremely important that you show God that you deserve it. Your discipline will shape your destiny, but it is extremely easy to be disciplined if all you've ever known is struggle. Guys, you as a man should be offended by the fact that my brother and I started miles below you and have surpassed you in every single human metric. That should bother you. But you should also sit there and go, why are they beating me? They started below me. They started the race way back there. And I was so lazy and so stupid, and I took life for granted, and I expected everything to be given to me, that these guys have managed to lap me and surpass me based purely on hunger and grit alone. They had no advantages. All they had was this innate desire to do anything it took. Now is the time. Every single day you need to wake up, take action, and get things done.
Happiness to me is a super interesting concept, because when people come to me and say, I'm not happy, I say, why should you be happy? They're like, what do you mean? It's like, who told you you should be happy all the time without working for it? Happiness is at the top of a mountain somewhere. You ain't been anywhere. You haven't even climbed it.
I think everybody on the planet has something to prove. If you walk through life and feel like you have nothing to prove, then you're a loser. If you wake up each day and go, I don't owe anybody anything, I don't have to prove anything to anybody, then you are a loser, because you are absolutely not incorrect. You must prove yourself to other people. You must prove yourself to your bloodline, as we just discussed. You must prove yourself to God. God hates the lazy. He can't stand them. If he gives you all these genetic dispositions and these natural God-given gifts, if you have 2 arms and 2 legs and you can think, and you're not trying your absolute best, that's the reason you're not lucky. He doesn't like you. He likes the people which show him the beauty of his own creation. He likes to give somebody building blocks and them to build something amazing. It's the best thing about being a man. You get to build who you are.
Nobody cares about men being happy. We talk about women being happy. We want children to be happy. If you look at a full-grown man on Christmas morning, he's smiling because his wife is smiling. He's smiling because his children are smiling. Nobody even buys him anything. What do they buy the dad? Socks? Nobody cares about men being happy. So why do you as a man care about you being happy? That's how you're going to fall into these traps. I'm a very content person. I live a fantastic life. I'm not miserable or depressed. I'm not sad ever. But I don't wake up and go, I want to be happy today. No, sir. I wake up and say, okay, things must be done. And those things will be completed regardless of how I feel. Regardless of how I feel. You can lock me in a dungeon for an unknown amount of time in Romania, and I will still complete as many push-ups as I can possibly do in the dark by myself. What else am I going to do? Sit there and be sad? Happy or sad? The push-ups must be done. It's called duty. It's called honor. It's called pride. So I'm asking you why you don't have them. You could be a genuine force for good in the world. And you know what's funny? The funniest thing, the most ironic thing about all of this is that if you don't prioritize happiness and you prioritize feeling proud of yourself, you end up happy by extension.
And that's why you've actually had a very bad start in life. You need, and this is very important, not only do you lack fire, you lack imagination. Because when you're poor, let me tell you something poor people do all the time. You imagine. My brother and I used to sit around and talk about what could be if only we managed to get it out. How it would feel to have this car. How it would feel to be in this place. How it would feel to be famous and internationally renowned. How it would feel to go to Saint-Tropez and live on a yacht. How it would feel to be able to fly on private planes. How it would feel to not have to worry about food anymore. My brother and I used to imagine for hours. We used to talk about it. We believed in this version of reality where we somehow made it. Not only do you lack motivation, you lack imagination. And that's why it's very important. You need to start believing you are the man, even if you're not yet. Before I was world champion, I knew I was going to be world champion. You have to believe these things. We had imagination and we had hunger and fire. You don't have those things. That's why you're fucked. Do you not understand? It doesn't matter how tired I get when I fight. I'm never actually tired because I am so desperate to hurt my opponent. I am more desperate to hurt him than I am tired. In all realms, forever. That is the hunger and motivation. That's why boxers start poor. That's why fighters are poor. There's a different mentality they're born with. They imagine being champion. They're prepared to do anything it takes. They have hunger and fire inside of them. There's no middle class champions. None. So it's extremely important you develop your imagination as well as your fire. And I'm saying this to you because there's a whole bunch of you who don't realize how badly you've failed. You need to start imagining what actual freedom is. You need to start seeing beyond the confines of your comfort. You need to start developing the hunger it's going to take for you to elevate to the highest possible echelons and stop being enslaved by your comfort, because that's what you're enslaved by. It's extremely important. Your future is the result of your daily actions. You're defined by what you do today. Lazy now, loser later. Get to work. Now, what have you done today which is going to positively affect the outcome of your future? When have you sat and imagined your dream life? When have you self-analyzed and self-reflected and tried to work out where you've gone wrong to end up such a mediocre specimen of man? Why can't you go down to the dealer and buy a brand new Lamborghini right now? Why not? Is it a lack of money? Is it a lack of, what is it? Is it only money? Are you afraid if you buy one you'll get robbed? What is stopping you? Have you even thought about any of these things? Has it even crossed your mind? It's extremely important, gentlemen, that you understand the chessboard and understand exactly where you are so you can make changes.
If you never make a mark on the world, then you effectively never existed. And when you're gone, nobody will care. And that's very important because you have a duty to your ancestors and you have a duty to God. So you must make a choice. And this is genuine choice for you people at home. Do you want to live in obscurity forever and be invisible and not matter and have an easier life? I would argue that it's not easier, because in your heart and in your soul, you're going to feel guilty knowing you could have been something you're not. Or do you want to try your absolute best and struggle and suffer every day of your life, paying the rent for all of the amazing things around you? We pay endless rent. We pay rent for our bodies. We pay rent for our relationships. We pay rent to keep our kids. We pay rent to keep our business. We pay rent to keep our freedom. Every single day is work to pay the rent. It's absolutely never ending, and you have to make that choice. So if you have a pen and paper in front of you, you need to decide. Do you want to be invisible with a lower rent bill, or do you want to be important and work hard and suffer to make sure that the rent is paid? It's a choice you must make, and it's binary, and you must be extremely dedicated towards the decision you finally make. You shouldn't wake up and say, how happy am I today? How does that affect how I act? That's not how I operate. I wake up and say, what must be done? What will allow me to be proud of myself? What will allow me to achieve? And those things will be done regardless of how I feel. And that's how the most successful people on earth all operate. The most successful people on earth don't only do things because they feel happy about doing them.
I refuse to accept that there are people out there who cannot become happy, contented individuals. I refuse to accept we live in a world where God has created people who, no matter how hard they work and how good their life becomes, can't be happy. I don't accept that. I accept that the universe is a very giving place and that God loves all of us. And if you try your best and you work hard, you can become a better person.
The beauty of life as a man is to be great. So you have to sit here and ask yourself, do you want to be a happy loser that's insignificant? Nobody knows you exist. Women don't respect you. Men don't respect you. Nobody cares if you live or die, but you get to smile all the time. Or do you want to be one of the most important people on the planet with a little bit of stress?
Manifestation is real, but not because your mind manages to magically attract the things you want. I think it just reminds you of what you really want, and it allows you to find energy all the time. If you manifest yourself having a perfect physique, you're going to be a lot more motivated in the gym. It's not the thought that makes the physique, it's the gym that makes the physique. However, the manifestation makes you want to go to the gym. So I do believe that if you understood the power of your thoughts, you'd never think negatively ever again. But I think manifestation works in another way. I also think that once you understand all of the bad things and good things that come into your life are a perfect plan from God himself, you're going to be a lot less affected by the bad things. If something bad happens to you, it's part of God's plan. He knows what he's doing. In the end, you're going to be happy it happened. I often ask people, is there anything bad that's happened to you in the past at the time you were distraught about that you now wish didn't even happen? So if you understand you're always going to get there eventually, why be upset about it now, right? If you know in a year from now you'll be glad it happened, why be upset about it happening now? You have to be cerebral enough about things.
As a man, you need to have struggle in your life. I want you guys to actually sit and think, what struggle are you going through daily?
What struggle are you undertaking? What struggle are you trying to overcome? Because you should make a list of them. I can know for myself, every single day I wake up and I train physically. Every single day I have to go through X amount of physical pain when my day begins. That is a struggle that must be completed. Then I must try and keep my massive empire online, see my children, take care of everybody. There's struggle involved. My life is difficult. Difficult lives are fulfilling because we used to have to hunt and fish and go out there and go through difficulty to survive. And when I look at men who are physical specimens, I think everyone naturally does this, but I'm going to openly say it. I respect them differently than I look at men who aren't. I have a different level of respect for them because they show me they have discipline. They show me they have motivation. They show me they're capable of doing difficult and hard things. Those are the kind of people I trust. They're not afraid of struggle. They're problem solvers. People who train are problem solvers, and you need to become one, and you need to become very, very adept at solving problems pretty quickly. Do you not understand how intimidating that is just when they look at a group of people and they all look like superheroes and they can tell they're all disciplined, all hardworking, all dedicated, all physically strong? The struggle is what's beautiful about it. That's the most important thing. That's what you have to understand. First, you want to become as strong as physically possible. So you want to be as strong as physically possible. Next, you want to try and make as much money as possible. Not even necessarily for the money, although money is extremely important because it allows you to take care of yourself. We talked about this before, but there's the challenge involved, and solving that challenge is going to make you feel more satisfied as a human. Happiness comes from success, and making money is success. You should try and make people around you smile and be happy. You should try and encourage positivity around you. You should be the kind of person that no one can really complain about their struggles around because they know that you're the person who's going to be like, why are you complaining when you could just simply fix it? You and your friends need to have friendly competition at all times. Now, you need to meet your friends and you need to have banter and competition around things that matter. Who's got the most money? Who's worked hardest? Who's discovered XYZ? Crypto, stock, new way of generating income? Who's trained that day? Who has the most children? Put some actual competitions together that matter and start competing and being around people because you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Everybody knows this. So why don't you get some genuine metrics that will improve your life? You won't have time to stand around cooking meals if you're friends with somebody who works out for 3 hours a day, for example, because you're going to need to find 3 hours a day to train to beat him, which means you're going to have to just eat that rotisserie chicken as you do squats like a man should. Live with men you're in competition with. This is ultra important because you can measure yourself against your circle. Get your act together, get some genuine metrics, things that matter, and once they're all put together, you're going to live in a naturally competitive environment, which is going to increase your testosterone level. It's going to prevent you from doing a lot of dumb shit. And the competition one's great, you know, because you can apply it to everything. I think that getting rich when you're young as a man is probably one of the worst things that can happen. You don't want to get rich to your late 20s. You want to spend all your 20s broke.
Broke and grinding.
Broke, grinding, training. If I had money at 18, 19, I would have skipped so many experiences and so many hard lessons. I'd be a fraction of the man I am today. So I don't like the idea of kids just gambling and getting lucky.
Yeah.
Now, that's the worst thing that can happen to a young man. He's skipping all the struggle, all the pain and suffering he's going to attempt to skip with money. He's going to end up suffering more in the end, but he's going to just lose, lose, lose. I often see that when I speak to people who are too comfortable, they end up being unhappy.
Yeah.
You can't entertain yourself to happiness. You must earn happiness. You must climb a mountain. You must struggle yourself to happiness. That's extremely important. There must be physical, mental, social, creative, some kind of spiritual struggle. And those things being satisfied is what's going to satisfy you. It's like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a mathematical equation. You solve the equation, you get a Bitcoin. Life is very much the same. There's struggles, there's difficulties which you have undertaken, which you have adopted to try Right. Right.
Every day, people juggle so many different tools just to get work done. A simple task turns into a time-consuming mess because work sprawl has scattered the tools and context we rely on. And the trend towards bundling software isn't addressing the root of the problem. The system's broken, and it's wasting our time. 8 years ago, we started ClickUp with a mission to save people time from switching between a bunch of different applications. But we knew the answer wasn't just bundling a bunch of tools together. We needed to rethink how software was built entirely. To solve the root of the problem, we built a single, flexible platform with powerful primitives that can be shared to build multiple first-class products inside of one app. We call this convergence. It's allowed us to deliver products at an extremely high velocity, and now we're tying it all together in a new way. Everything we've built has led to this. Introducing ClickUp 4.0, the first converged AI workspace in the world. It's the future of software. It's not just another bundle of apps. It's a fundamentally converged platform where everything works together seamlessly. From communication to project management to knowledge management in one app, accelerated by the world's most productive AI. 4.0 is the epicenter for all of your work and collaboration. It's the beginning of a new meta category of apps that will
ਦੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਸੀ ਜੁੱਸਾ ਜੱਟ ਦਾ ਰੰਗ ਜਵਾਤਾ ਜੇ ਸਵਰਾਜ ਵਰਗਾ ਕਬੂਤਰੀਆਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਸੀ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਸਰਪੰਚਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੀ ਬਾਜ ਵਰਗਾ ਚੜੀ ਸੀ ਜਵਾਨੀ ਪਟਰੌਲ ਵਰਗੀ ਲਿਸ਼ਕਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਗੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਹੁਸਨ ਦੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਪੁਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਪੱਟਦਾ ਬਰੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਹੁਸਨ ਦੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਪੁਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਪੱਟਦਾ ਬਰੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਛੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਚੱਲੀ ਹੁਸਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਦੀ ਨੇਰੀ ਪੁਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਪੱਟਦਾ ਬਰੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਹੁਸਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਦੀ ਨੇਰੀ ਪੁਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਹੋ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਪੱਟਦਾ ਬਰੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਕਿ ਦਿਲ ਦੀ ਸੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਪਰਵਾਹ ਕਰਦੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਖੋਪੜੇ ਆ ਟੰਗੇ ਤਲਵਾਰਾਂ ਉੱਤੇ ਨੀ ਭੁੱਲ ਗਈ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਡੋਰੀਆ ਜੱਟ ਬੰਨੀ ਫਿਰੇ ਨਾ ਡਿਗਿਆਰਾਂ ਉੱਤੇ ਨੀ ਉਹ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਤੰਦਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨੱਥ ਪਾ ਲਿਆ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਤੰਦਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨੱਥ ਪਾ ਲਿਆ ਉਹ ਮੂਸੇ ਵਾਲਾ ਜੱਟ ਸੀਗਾ ਝੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਚੱਲੀ ਹੁਸਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਦੀ ਨੇਰੀ ਪੁਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਪੱਟਦਾ ਬਰੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਹੁਸਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਦੀ ਨੇਰੀ ਪੁਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਹੋ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਪੱਟਦਾ ਬਰੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਚ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਕੁੱਕੀਆਂ ਗਟਾਰਾਂ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਪੈਂਦੀਆਂ ਕਿਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਕਦੇ ਟੈਂਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਮਿੱਠੇ ਬੋਲ ਬੋਲ ਕੇ ਚਕਾ ਲਿਆ ਮਿੱਠੀਏ ਮਿੱਠੇ ਬੋਲ ਬੋਲ ਕੇ ਚਕਾ ਲਿਆ ਮਿੱਠੀਏ ਹੋ ਉੱਚਾ ਕਿਰਦਾਰ ਸੀਗਾ ਕੋਠੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਹੁਸਨ ਦੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਪੁਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਪੱਟਦਾ ਬਰੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਹੁਸਨ ਦੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਪੁਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਪੱਟਦਾ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਬਣਦਾ ਦੇ ਹੀ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਚ ਖੁਜਲਾ ਤਾਂ ਮਿੱਠੀਏ ਆਓ ਸਿੱਧੂਆਂ ਦਾ ਪੁੱਤ ਸੀ ਹਵੇਲੀਆਂ ਵਾਲਾ ਸਾਧ ਕਰ ਕੁੱਲੀ ਚ ਬਿਠਾ ਤਾਂ ਮਿੱਠੀਏ ਕੋਈ ਨੇੜੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਖੱਬੀ ਖਾਨ ਜੰਮਿਆ ਨੇੜੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਖੱਬੀ ਖਾਨ ਜੰਮਿਆ ਹੋ ਅੰਬੋ ਜਸਵੰਤੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਪੋਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਚੱਲੀ ਹੁਸਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਦੀ ਨੇਰੀ ਪੁਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਪੱਟਦਾ ਬਰੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ ਹੁਸਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਦੀ ਨੇਰੀ ਪੁਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਹੋ ਜੱਟ ਜੜੋਂ ਪੱਟਦਾ ਬਰੋਟੇ ਨਾਲ ਦਾ
ਇੱਕ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਗੋ ਕੌਡੀ ਕੱਪ ਕਰੇ ਮਹੁਣਾ ਅੰਨੇ ਵਾਈ ਪਿਆਸਾ ਦੁੱਲੇ ਬੱਗੇ ਤੇ ਹਟਾਉਣਾ ਇੱਕ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਗੋ ਕੌਡੀ ਕੱਪ ਕਰੇ ਮਹੁਣਾ ਅੰਨੇ ਵਾਈ ਪਿਆਸਾ ਦੁੱਲੇ ਬੱਗੇ ਤੇ ਹਟਾਉਣਾ ਨਾ ਪੀ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ ਫੀਮ ਖਾਣੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਫਲਾਈ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ ਖੁੱਡਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿਰੀ ਚੁੱਕਦੇ ਆ ਫੜ ਲਈਏ ਲਾਵਾਂਗੂ ਨੀ ਸ਼ਿਕਾਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਣੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਾਨ ਇਹ ਜਹਾਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਚਣਾ ਨੀ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕੁਝ ਮਹਾਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਣੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਾਨ ਇਹ ਜਾਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਚਣਾ ਨੀ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕੁਝ ਮਾਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਲੱਦ ਗੰਨੇ ਦੀ ਟਰਾਲੀ ਮਿਲਾਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਸੀ ਖਲੋਂਦੇ
can't be beat. It's impossible. You condemn me. You can damage me. You're never ever gonna beat me.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. You should be a monster.
ਸੁਬਾ ਮੈਡੀਟੇਸ਼ਨਾਂ ਫੇ ਮੈਨੀਫੈਸਟੇਸ਼ਨਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਥਣੇ ਅਚੀਵਮੈਂਟਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸੈਲੀਬ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨਾਂ ਕੰਗ੍ਰੈਚੁਲੇਸ਼ਨਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੋਕੀ ਦੇਣ ਫੋਨ ਤੇ ਬਲੈਕਬੈਰੀ ਔਨ ਪਰੇ ਆਫ ਨੇ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨਾਂ ਗੋਲ ਉਦਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਡਨ ਜੋੜੇ ਵਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਿੱਥੇ ਕਈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੇ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਕਈ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਐਡੀ ਉਮਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੱਡਿਆ ਤਜਰਬੇ ਕੁੜੇ ਮੈਂ ਬੈਠਾ G6 ਘੁੰਮਾ ਕਦੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਕਦੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਪੇਡ ਆਫ ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਪੇਡ ਆਫ ਕਰ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੂੰ ਉਂਗਲ ਤਾਂ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਬੁਆ ਜੀ ਵੈਗਨਾ ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਕਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਖੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਜੋ ਤੂੰ ਦੇਖੀਆਂ ਦਬਈ ਜੀ ਟਰਨ ਕਦੇ ਕਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਬੈਕ ਜੰਪ ਰਾਜਾਂ ਦੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਾਂ ਦੇਣ ਗੂਜ਼ ਪੰਪ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਅਗਲੀ ਫਰਾਰੀ ਬੈਠੇ ਲਿਖੀਏ ਭਵਿੱਖ ਸਾਡੀ ਰੱਬ ਨਾਲ ਯਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਰਹੀਏ ਪਿੱਟ ਤੇ ਕਮਾਈ ਮੋਟੀ 36 ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਾਲੇ ਮੈਰੀਅਟ ਜਿੱਡੀ ਕੋਠੀ ਬੈਠਾ ਕੋਟ ਯਾਰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਾਹੀ ਮੰਜਾ ਮੁਟਿਆਰੇ ਹੱਥ ਲੱਸੀ ਦਾ ਗਲਾਸ ਨਾਲੇ ਮਿੱਸੀ ਰੋਟੀ ਉਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਮ ਹੀ ਰਿਆਜ ਇੱਕ ਝੋਟੇ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਖਾ ਕੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਸੱਟਾ ਹੋਏ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਕਠੋਰ ਮਾਰਾਂ ਸੈਲਫਰ ਕਾਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਂਢੀ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਠਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਕਲੈਰਨ ਦੇ ਖੁੱਲਦੇ ਆ ਰੱਬ ਵੱਲ ਡੋਰ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਏ ਸਵਾਦ ਜਦੋਂ ਸੜਦਾ ਸ਼ਰੀਕਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਸਕੌਫ ਸੀ ਜੋ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਆ ਖੌਫ ਨੈਟ ਵਰਥ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਟੈਕਸ ਰਾਈਟ ਆਫ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਗਾਨੇ ਪੰਜ ਬੈਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੁੰਨੀ ਫੇਰਾ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਤਾਨੇ ਮੈਂ ਹਸਲਰ ਬੰਦਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਕੰਮ ਨਾਲੇ ਯਾੜੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਚਪੇੜ ਮੇਰੀ ਹੈਂਡ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਮਾੜੀ ਦੇਖ ਵਗਦਾ ਪਸੀਨਾ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਪੇਲਦੇ ਆ ਡੰਡ ਕੋਈ 3-5 ਕਰੇ ਫੜ ਝਾੜਦੇ ਆ ਕੰਡ ਲਹੂ ਰਗਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਰੇ ਫਣਕਾਰੇ ਮੁਟਿਆਰੇ ਹੋਈਏ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਖੜੇ ਰਹੀਏ ਪੰਪਿਆਂ ਪਸਾਰੇ ਲੱਗੇ ਮਿਹਨਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਸ਼ੇ ਕੱਢੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਸ਼ੱਕ I started from a centro ਹੁਣ ਡਬਲ ਆਰ ਟਰੱਕ ਉਹ ਲੱਗੇ ਬਾਲਿਆਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਫੱਟੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਚੱਕ ਮੈਂ ਫਲੈਕਸ ਕਰਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਾਂ ਫੋਲੋ ਅਪ ਮੈਂ ਫਲੈਕਸ ਕਰਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਾਂ ਫੋਲੋ ਅਪ
In the end, I don't care whether you love me or you hate me, just as long as I win.
we've gone too far. Tell we've gone too far. Jump through and I will dance with you. Tell we've gone too far. Jump through and I will dance with you. Happy nation, living in a happy nation, where the people understand and dream of a perfect man. Situation lead to a sweet salvation for the people, for the good, for mankind, for the happy
शिकवा क्यों जियाकार बनूं सूद फरामोश रहूं फिक्र फर्दा न करूं मैं भी गमे दोष रहूं नाले बुलबुल के सुनूं और हमतन गोश रहूं हम नवा मैं भी कोई गुल हूं कि खामोश रहूं जुरत आमोज मेरी ताबे सुखन है मुझको शिकवा अल्लाह से खाकम बदहन है मुझको
Our website is the stage, it's the store.
All of our merch that we have on our website, the hat, logo, the stickers, the t-shirt, is all things that I just drew. Just had fun drawing. Thanks to Hostinger, we can actually sell them on our website. It seemed like everything that I wanted to do was easy to do. With Hostinger AI website builder, it did.
औषाता जहाँ सवैग मेरा तोरा भी सवादी नहीं लोका दिया ठेकिया समाई फला दया दीनी औता ही मैनू उड़ते की हंकार आते दाने नी मैं औता नहानी पैदा जैने सारे आने मैदाने नी मैं औता नहानी पैदा जैने सारे आने मैदाने नी मैं औता नहानी पैदानी ਦੇ ਚਿੱਟੇ ਪਾਪਾ ਘੁੰਮਦੇ ਜੋ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੇ ਟੌਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੋ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਲੇ ਕੋਕੋ ਦੂਰ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਨੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨੀ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਨੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨੀ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਨੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨੀ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਨੀ ਆਓ ਕੋਠਾ ਪੱਤੇ ਜਾਨ ਪਾਵੇ ਲੈ ਲਈ دیਵਾਨੇ ਤੋਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਚ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਮੈਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਕੀ ਜ਼ਮਾਨੇ ਤੋਂ ਕਿਲੇ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਕਿਲੇ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਕਦੋਂ ਬੁੱਲਿਆ ਨਾ ਪੈਦਾ ਨੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨੀ ਪੈਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਪੈਦਾ ਨੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨੀ ਪੈਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਪੈਦਾ ਨੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨੀ ਪੈਦਾ ਨੀ ਆਓ ਦਿਲ ਦਾ ਨੀ ਮਾੜਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਮੂਸੇ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੋਈ ਨੀ ਹੈ ਨੀ ਰੀਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਕਿ ਰੀਚ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਜੇ ਜੱਟ ਨੂੰ ਨੀ ਉਹ ਬਾਣ ਬਰੋਲਾ ਉੱਠਿਆ ਗੱਭਰੂ ਭਾਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਬਾਰੀ ਜੱਟ ਨੂੰ ਨੀ ਜੋ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਿਉਣਾ ਮੋੜ ਕੁੜੇ ਜਿਉਣਾ ਮੋੜ ਕੁੜੇ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਜਿਉਣਾ ਵਧੀ ਗਿਆ ਮਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੋਂ ਵਧੀ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਨੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੋਲ ਵਧੀ ਗਿਆ ਅਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੋਂ ਵਧੀ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਨੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੋਲ ਵਧੀ ਗਿਆ ਅਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੇ
Also, I got refugee working. If you see this cross right here, this cross me on purpose. This cross right here, I wasn't playing.
ਸਾਡੇ ਐਂਟੀ ਵਾਂਗ ਗਡੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਜ ਵਾਂਗ ਰਾਹ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੀ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਕੱਲਾ ਘੇਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਝੁੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਨੂੰ ਕੁੱਤੇ ਗਈ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਲਈ ਬਰੌਨੀ ਬਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੱਲ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਵਸਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੋਂ ਵਧੀ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਨੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੋਲ ਵਧੀ ਗਿਆ ਅਸਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੋਂ ਵਧੀ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਨੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੋਲ ਵਧੀ ਗਿਆ ਅਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਾਣਦੀ ਏ ਕਿਸਮਤ ਦੇ ਖੋਲੇ ਗੇਟ ਕੁੜੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਉਂ ਵਧੀ ਗਿਆ ਰੇਟ ਕੁੜੇ ਨੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਤਿਉਂ ਵਧੀ ਗਈ ਹੇਠ ਕੁੜੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਵੱਧਦੀ ਦੇ ਚੜਾਈ ਨਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਉਹੀ ਸ਼ਰੀਕਾ ਵੱਧਦਾ ਗਿਆ ਫਿਰ ਸਮਝਾਈ ਕਿ ਪਿੱਤਲ ਨਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਿੰਨਣੇ ਪੈਣੇ ਪੇਟ ਕੁੜੇ ਕਾਂਡਾ ਨਾ ਵਧੀ ਦਲੇਰੀ ਨਾ ਸਹਿਜ ਵੱਧ ਕੇ ਦਿਲ ਦੇ ਤਸਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੋਂ ਵਧੀ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਨੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੋਲ ਵਧੀ ਗਿਆ ਅਸਲਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੋਂ ਵਧੀ ਤਰੱਕੀ ਨੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੋਲ ਵਧੀ ਗਿਆ ਅਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੇ
alive वहीद मौत नी डर मेरे पुरख सी शहीद मन मुख नू की पता किन्ना अहम है तवीद कतल करन दी बीमारी मेरा कलम है मरीज किन्ने बन गए वे सप मार गप्पियां ना गप जद पवे वे अकाल उदों याद आंदा जट मेरे सिर ते ने बने अज खून मेरा ताज चिड़िया खिलारे जद उड़दा है बाज 12 घेज रखा जुत्ती खुले स्नेक पग वाला ड्रेक समझी ना अंग्रेज मेरे की है डब ते ना तू हो कंफ्यूज कहना इनू बंदूक इनू क्या यमदूत ਦਊਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਮੋਕਸ਼ ਲੱਭ ਲਾ ਤੂੰ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਮੇਰੀ ਉਂਗਲ ਤੇ ਖੁਰਕ ਹੋਏ ਕਰੇ ਨਾ ਸੰਕੋਚ ਮੂਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਮੋਹਾਲੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਘੁੰਮਦੀ ਆ ਕਾਲੀ ਖਿੰਜ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਗੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਚ 47
ਆਓ ਗਿਰਗਟ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਰੰਗ ਬਦਲਦੇ